But I don't think around at night, tossing and turning on the pillow. Anyway, there are a million more things happening. And again, what does that mean, acid? Because the government's policy of restriction and the government does not regulate or help you know what acid is. Nobody knows what acid is. My advice is that do not go out and get acid from someone that walks up to you in a trench coat in a bar and says, hey, here's some acid. Like anything else that's precious in life, you should know what you're doing, and if you're going to share this experience, do it with someone who shares your spiritual ambitions, and when you look in their eye, they have that same holiness that you're looking for. But,
do you still have a mind-blowing experience once a week?
And everyone right now. I tell you.
I think that's the room.
But you can get Nardwar now.
Being locked up in a cell with him.
Are you on any drugs right now, Timothy Leary?
Coca-Cola.
Coffee.
Is Prozac the legal LSD of the 90s?
Where do you get these guys? Do you have committees of monkeys that type them out and things like that? I'm not an expert on illegal drugs. Basically, I don't like legal drugs. If the government legalizes a drug, there's got to be something wrong with it. Think about it. Alcohol, things like that.
Didn't you design some rides for Disneyland?
But go back to Prozac here. I'm fascinated that they are learning more about the brain, because the brain is a series of 100 billion computers, and we're learning how to punch up and boot up and format. And yes, I think it's wonderful, if true, that a person who is terribly depressed, not to go to a doctor. I don't think you should have to go to a doctor. You should be able to go to a committee of ministers or your friends and so forth. And with the help of your friends, yes, I think it's wonderful that there are these chemicals that obviously are designed by DNA to make the brain react this way. So basically, although I'm not giving product endorsements about Prozac, I think in general the idea is good. But of course the doctors are now running around and making billions off it, naturally, and the pharmaceutical thing. I think that any psychoactive, psychological drug should not be sold. It's almost it's like selling pardons. The priests used to do that, selling the sacraments. I think that they should be regulated by a society. Certainly young people shouldn't take them. But the very idea of selling psychoactive drugs, it's worse than prostitution, in a sense. I haven't thought this quite through. So
sounds good so far.
Be gentle with me. Listen, let's take a break here for a minute, and I'll ask you some questions, huh?
Okay, sure.
How long can you stay quiet?
How long do you want me to stay quiet?
Oh, well, I just have a question. I just wanted you to elaborate about the new species thing. You didn't talk about it very long. About the 21st century and the new species. Yeah.
About the 21st century?
Mm-hmm.
So great. When you look at the newspaper or the television, cable or whatever, it sounds overwhelming. There's so much violence and lowest common denominator and fear. But one thing is becoming clear from all of this horror, and we've known it for thousands of years. Particularly, two major groups in society have known it. Like two major groups that are majority have known it. But only now are we beginning to realize that the cause of almost all human conflict and problem is the ruthless repression of women and children by men, armed men or strong men, using force or threat of force. And I would say 90% of the dads in the world no matter how much trouble they're having at the office or when they come home, they know they can kick the kids and their mother. And I think we're aware of that. Obviously, of course, the American media, you're going to get. I don't know about Bobbitt, what the whole thing. I'm not a judge. Or the justice. What was the guy's name?
Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. Thank you. Yeah, I can't rule in all these cases, but the very fact that we now understand that the abuse of children. You know that in Southeast Asia, like in India, there are hundreds of young children who are forced to work in the cotton mills. You know that, even in Calcutta. Slaves. And that's worse than American slavery was horrible, the lethal slavery of adults, but to enslave children. In countries like Thailand and Cambodia, they sell off young children, both girls and boys, for like $300 into a lifelong sentence to prostitution. I'll show what you have here.
What about formatting your computer brain? I mean, do you think you can do that without drugs, or do you think? Yeah, that's my question. All your talk about accessing the entire functions of our brains, your post-terrestrial.
What the computer and quantum physics has made clear to us, and what neurology has made clear to us is. The basic nature of the universe is chaos. Our minds simply can't understand it. Computers can help us. Also, you see, the title of my lecture tonight, performance, is How to Operate Your Brain. And yes, I think that psychedelic drugs, which allow you to kind of fine-tune, get a little crazier. Hey, you want the walls to breathe? Yeah. To turn it into, yes, the ability
Of course, he's going
to precisely and safely design your own hallucinations and to communicate them using the new multimedia stuff. Yes, it's a big breakthrough, and that will be the language of the future.
Didn't you design some rides for Disneyland? No, weren't you once called upon to consult for that at all, Timothy Leary?
No, it never happened.
What about Richard Alpert, like you're here in Vancouver?